You're listening to the BigIron Buzz.
Welcome to our latest episode of the BigIron Buzz, where each week we'll bring to you the latest news and trends in the ag, real estate, and used equipment markets. This podcast is brought to you by BigIron Auctions and BigIron Realty, rural America's premier online unreserved auction site, bringing you rural connections, respected values, and real deals. Hi everyone, I'm Ryan Smith, and I'm the host of the BigIron Buzz. With me today are Mark Stock and Scot Rubek from BigIron Auctions. Scot, you're new to the show. Can you start off by telling us a little about yourself?
So I've been with BigIron since 2014. Started off as an independent sales rep and later was promoted to district manager. I cover the territory west of Indianapolis and south of Indianapolis in Indiana. And I live in southwest Indiana in a little town called Center Point, Indiana, with my wife, Megan, and my three daughters, Sophie, Millie, and Stella.
And how many ISRs do you have, Scot?
I have 5 ISRs. I have David Herring, Gerald Yoder, Todd Jeffries, Cody Gerber, Jesse Miner, and my last one, Matt Keller, just moved up to district manager of Northern Indiana.
Good deal. Now, you've got a big retirement sale coming up, so let's talk about the Twindale Farm Retirement Auction. That's going to take place here on September the 9th. First of all, introduce Marco Brown and tell everybody his unique story.
So Marco is probably the most resilient, dedicated guy I've got the opportunity to work with so far. In 2010, he fell off of a barn roof and hit the ground, paralyzed himself from the waist down, and he's continued to run the farm for the last 10 years with the help of his son, Jeremy. Got hand controls in his machinery, still raising cattle, just goes to work every day. As far as his machinery, he put the same type of work in everything he's done. Most of this machinery is one-owner machinery. It's been well maintained. The maintenance records that he shows are like none I've ever seen. You look at every listing, there's several pages of maintenance records with those.
And you're going to have a public inspection for his equipment. First of all, his sale is when?
His sale is Wednesday, September 9th, and tomorrow and Saturday, we're having a preview day over there where we'll have lunch provided. Marco and Jeremy will be there to talk about the machinery and answer any questions.
Good. Have you had quite a few calls on it?
Yeah, we've had a few.
Good. So let's talk about a few of the items that he's selling. He's got a John Deere 4720 sprayer and a 9650 John Deere four-wheel drive combine. What other items does he have, Scot?
He's got a 9100 articulated tractor. He's got a nice late model front wheel assist John Deere tractor. He's got a 1631 or 32 John Deere planter.
Yeah, he's got a Ford L9000 grain truck. He's got a dozer too, a Cat D6 dozer, older machine. He's got a New Holland L553 skid steer that will be selling on his retirement sales. He's got a Mack truck, a Unifirth grain cart. So I hope everybody comes out to support Marco Brown on his retirement sale. Now, is his boy going to continue farming?
They're going to raise cattle. They're going to continue to raise cattle, but they've rented the row crop out to a neighbor.
And who is your rep that is doing all of the picture taking and such for the Twindale Farms Inc. retirement?
So Gerald Yoder is our ISR.
And tell us a little bit about Gerald. He's been with us for quite a while.
Gerald's been with us for about 5 years. He's from Washington, Indiana, comes from a hard-working family, and Gerald just does a good job and works as hard as anybody in the business.
I just noticed that Gerald is very meticulous with the way he stages equipment, the way he processes the information. So a lot of folks I know watch the people that are really successful, and he's one of the people that I hope in your specific space everybody's always paying attention to.
Now, Mark, you've been doing retirement sales for quite a long time, so what most impresses you about this sale?
You know, anytime you do a retirement sale, there's a story behind your sellers, and this is one of those unique stories where I hope people pay attention. I hope people support the family because they've worked hard their entire life. They've built up something. They've always had a positive outlook on life as well. So congratulations to Marco Brown and their family for their years of dedicated service to agriculture, their meticulous way of taking care of their equipment. We always did say that if you take care of your equipment will take care of you when you want to sell it. If you're hard on your equipment and you beat your equipment, it's going to beat you back when you sell it. But in this particular case, you know, Scot and Gerald, they've done a great job representing the items. And go to the public inspections or check out all the videos because this is some good quality equipment selling on BigIron.com.
Gerald's one of the few guys that you'll see an email come across the desk there. He'll ask the quality guys, what can I be doing to be better? Gerald doesn't want to be better. He wants to be the best, always improving.
Before we talk about some of the other retirement sales on the September 9th auction, I'd like to stay in the 3I region, Indiana, Illinois, and Iowa. Scott, what sales catch your eye here?
Well, a lot of harvest equipment there in Iowa, and there's a few pieces there in Illinois, and then we've got some fertilizer machinery, excess fertilizer equipment for Co-Alliance Cooperative there in Indiana. So,
Well, we've got William Duckworth. They're selling a Drago, an 8-row cornhead. That's in Martinsville, Indiana. What part of the state is Martinsville in?
west of Indianapolis, right here in the center of the state.
And have you been getting plenty of moisture in that part of the country? You the garden spot this year, or you a little stress?
We've had plenty of moisture here in western Indiana. Kind of calmed down here the last couple of weeks, but we've had plenty of rain and should have a record crop, I would guess.
And in Iowa, I'm looking over my list here, and I'm noticing some of these really nice headliner pieces. And one of them is in Clinton, Iowa, where Matthew Harmson is selling a 2013 Brent 1194 1100 bushel grain cart. So folks needing a big grain cart, there's a great one to take a look at. Owl Lake Production Company out of Renwick, Iowa. They've got a Wilson 53-foot cattle pot. So check that machine out. Danny Hartgers is in Montezuma, Iowa.
Looks like he's selling a John Deere 9500 combine with a head. Richard Larson selling 3 gravity wagons in Geneso, Illinois as well.
Hey, have you guys seen those posts going around where they're turning those gravity wagons into basketball little shoot returns? Yeah, they're kind of cool. So somebody, you need something like that after harvest, you can sure take advantage of that particular machine.
I figured that, Mark, you were saying you guys in Nebraska would use the whole wagon as the goal, and then you would actually be able to get the ball through the hoop.
That's the only way it's going to work for me. That's the only way, and I'm going to have to be real close to it.
We started our show talking about the Twindale Farms retirement auction coming up in Indiana, but there are several other retirement auctions coming up our listeners won't want to miss. Tell us more here.
Oh, I tell you what, we've got some big sales. Mongu Enterprises, they're retiring from Zurich, Kansas, and they've got a lot of good quality equipment. John Deere 9770 Combine, John Deere 9610 Combine. They've got an international semi-truck tractor. They got a New Holland T6050 mechanical front tractor with a loader. They've got a New Holland 8770 mechanical front tractor. They got an Apache self-propelled sprayer that's selling. I mean, folks, this is a big sale in Zurich, Kansas, so we hope you draw your attention to that. We'll talk 2 weeks ahead. We've got a real big auction for John and Jim Kaufman. They are retiring from Newman Grove, Nebraska. These folks are probably just as meticulous as Twindale. They've got red machinery, red combines, red tractors. They're selling everything. Their shop tools, everything on their farm. I think they got over 300 lots. And another real big sale is the Bill Dugan Estate auction in Greeley, Nebraska. They've got 2 of everything as well. One owner machines. Bill Dugan, here's another story, 95 years old, actively farming. Unfortunately, he gets killed in an automobile accident, but he was actively farming, still running the machinery. He had 2 John Deere S780 combines. I believe one's got 310 hours and one's got 380 separator hours. They've got all the bells and whistles, the folding tanks. They've got the scales in the grain tanks, sitting on duals. They've got 16-row narrow folding corn heads, 740 draper heads. These are all 2- and 3-year-old machines. They've got 2 9560R four-wheel drive tractors that got 700 and 800 hours respectively. They've got 2 W235 windrowers. They're 19 models, folks. One's got 14 hours. One's got 79 hours. They've got 2 John Deere 560M round balers. One has seen 200 bales and one has seen less than 50 bales. They are like brand spanking new. He's got a forage harvester, a John Deere 7450 forage harvester. It's an 09 model, Scott Rubek. Check this out. It's got 250 cutter hours on it. He used it. He cut 80 acres of silage every year. It's been sitting in a shed all its life. It's got the kernel processor. I mean, it's a barn find if you ever did find one. He's got 2 Kenworth semi-truck tractors. They're the 660 versions. I believe they have 120,000 and 144,000 miles on these machines, and they've been deleted. So deleted means they have all the emission stuff been removed. So those trucks are unbelievable. They're tri-axles. He bought them brand new, as he bought almost everything brand new. I'm just teasing you folks because I have just barely touched the tip of the iceberg on what else is selling on that big sale coming up on the 16th of September. But we have a lot of retirement sales, and we've got a lot of good quality pieces selling. Next week, let's talk about the Farm Credit Services. They have 3 different locations in Iowa selling equipment. They have got a lot of items selling. So we want you to draw your attention to the John Deere 6430 Premium mechanical front tractor with a loader. They've got a New Holland skid steer. It's an L185 skid steer selling that's got 1,779 hours. They've got quite a few vehicles that are selling. They've got a Caterpillar GC30K forklift that will be selling. So view all that equipment. Just a tremendous offering. Syngenta Corp Production LLC out of Washington, Iowa. They've got some items that are selling. Also, Ernie Rosh is in Liberty, Missouri. He's got a versatile 260. In fact, they got a pair of them, one with 2,357 hours and one with 2,367 hours. They also have a Kubota M9000 utility special tractor that's going to sell. But folks, if you go through the list of equipment on the Big Iron website, you'll see all this equipment selling and the owner's name, so you can call them if you have questions.
Now, Mark, I'd like to talk about some of the equipment on the September 9th auction, which is located in the southern states, as there's some really incredible pieces available.
Yes, Mahindra USA, they have asked Big Iron to sell a lot of their excess equipment. A lot of these are just low-hour tractors and UTVs and three-point accessories that been sitting on their yard, demonstrator models. They have 3, 4, maybe 5 hours on them is all. So please check out all these compact utility tractors. Agco Financing, they've got a dry fertilizer spreader selling in Forest City, Arkansas on Big Iron coming up here on September the 9th. Agco Finance LLC out of Forest City, Arkansas. They're selling a 2015 Rogator. It's got a dry box on the back, 1,144 hours selling on that machine. Yeah, Chase Groves from Garland City, Arkansas. They've got a Terragator 8103 series dry fertilizer spreader. That's a big 3-wheel rig. We've got some equipment selling in Bastrop, Louisiana for Harper Armstrong. They've got a Ford F-250 XL 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive pickup. They've got an International 9900 Eagle semi-truck tractor. They've got a Sukup grain cart as well, so view those items on the Big Iron website. Abbey Ag Services LLC out of Halls, Mississippi will be selling a Great Plains 40-foot precision drill. So that is a very unique item, as a lot of people are getting ready to put in their fall cover crops right after they harvest their soybeans and corn. So those items definitely are worth taking a look at, folks, as they sell to the highest bidder on BigIron.com. So, hey, Scott, I have a question. You got a lot of calls for equipment to be sold here coming up in October and November. So, Scott, you've got a real good group of sales reps, and you've been doing this for a long time. Are you anticipating a lot more business coming up here in October, November, and December in your part of the U.S.?
Yeah, Mark, of course, always here in Q4 is our best quarter. It seems like that's when guys are always kind of in the mood to sell, seem to capture the best prices at that time. We've got a lot of guys that are trying to just liquidate some machinery and create some cash to offset the markets. So I think there'll be some good retirement sales come up too.
So if somebody wants to retire, what's the best mode of process to get your group involved? Do they call you?
Yeah, they can either call me or send an email to the office, but it's just as easy to call me directly.
And what's your phone number?
My phone number is 812-223-0376.
All right. Well, congratulations on some nice retirement sales and some other additional pieces selling here on Big Iron in this big record-breaking month for Big Iron here in September. Over 9,000 items will be sold from over 1,100 different sellers.
That's our show for today, folks. I'd like to thank our guests, Mark Stock and Scot Rubek, and remind everyone that the equipment mentioned today can all be found on the September 9th and September 16th auctions on BigIron.com. For the Big Iron Buzz, I'm Ryan Smith. We'll catch you here next week.